Hello everyone, it's day 72 and today I have 14th May Indian Express newspaper and as usual I am on the explained page and there are few important articles over this page I found. One is about the Chabahar port which India has recently signed a 10-year agreement which can attract sanctions from US but US has given certain warning, and another is about the xenotransplantation. So let us see both of these articles one by one. So what are the India's stakes in Chabahar? So, signing of a long term contract with Iran on the strategically located port is part of India's strategic and economic vision of Central Asia and beyond. However, the project has always faced multiple challenges. So, let us see what are those challenges. India and Iran signed a 10-year contract on Monday for the operation of a terminal at the strategically important Chabahar port in Iran. Chabahar is a deep water port in Iran's Sistan Balochistan province. It is the Iranian port that is the closest to India and is located in the open sea, providing easy and secure access for large cargo ships. Union Minister for Shipping, Ports and Waterways, Sarbananda Sonowal, witnessed the signing of the contract between India Ports Global Limited and the Port and Maritime Organization of Iran in Tehran. So IPGL will invest approximately $120 million to equip and operate the port uh, for the duration of the contract, and the two sides will further extend their cooperation in the Chabahar thereafter. India has also offered a credit window of in rupee equivalent to $250 million for mutually identified projects to improve infrastructure related to the port. So, what are the slow start to the project? Modern Chabahar came into being in the 1970s, and the Tehran realized the strategic importance of the port during the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s. In 2002, Hassan Rouhani, who was Iran's national security advisor under President Sayyid Mohammad Khatami at the time, held discussions with his Indian counterpart Brajesh Mishra on developing the port, located 72 kilometers west of the Pakistan's Gwadar port. In January 2003, President Khatami and then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee signed off on an ambitious roadmap of strategic cooperation among the key projects. Among the key projects of the two countries agreed was Chabahar, which held the potential to link South Asia with the Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, Central Asia, and Europe. The New Delhi Declaration, signed by the two leaders, recognized that the countries' growing strategic convergence needed to be underpinned with a strong economic relationship. For India, Chabahar held immense strategic and economic significance as it provided a route to reach Afghanistan, land access to which had been blocked by a hostile Pakistan. But the ambitious timelines for the project were underdone by India's growing relationship with the United States under President George W. Bush. The US, which declared Iran as one of the axis of evil, along with Iraq and North Korea, pushed New Delhi to abandon its strategic relationship with Tehran, and the Chabahar project became a casualty. So, what are the progress after the 2015? While India spent out $100 million to construct a 218-kilometer road from Delaram in western Afghanistan to Zaranj in the Iran Afghanistan border to link Chabahar, the port project itself progressed at a glacial pace. But things started to change in 2015 after talks between the Iran and the P5 plus 1 bore fruit. After 3 weeks, after 3 weeks after Iran and the world power announced their framework deal on April 2, 2015, and committed to finalizing a comprehensive deal by the end of the June. Then Afghan President Ashraf Ghani visited India and stressed the importance of the Chabahar port. During Ghani's April 27 29, 2015 visit, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed to work closely with Iran to make the port project a reality and to develop it as a viable gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia. They agreed that routes additional to the existing ones will provide a major impetus to Afghanistan's economic construction efforts. So, over the next 1 year, coordination between the three countries led to the signing of a trilateral agreement to establish the international transport and transit corridor in May 2016, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Iran. Thereafter, India's shipping ministry worked at a brisk pace to develop this project. The attitude of the Donald Trump administration towards Iran complicated matters after 2017, but South Bloc appeared determined to stay the course. New Delhi managed to get a waiver from the US for the Chabahar port, citing access to Afghanistan as a reason. So India's approach also stemmed from the fact that China was aggressively pursuing President Xi Jinping's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative for massive infrastructure development across large part of Asia and Africa. So development in recent years, India has so far supplied six mobile harbor cranes, two of 140 ton and four of 100-ton capacity, and other equipment worth $25 million. IPGL has been operating Chabahar port through its wholly owned subsidiary, India Ports Global Chabahar Free Zone, since December 24, 2018. The port has handled more than 90,000 20-foot equivalent units of container traffic and more than 8.4 million metric ton of bulk and general cargo since then. The port has also facilitated the supply of humanitarian assistance, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Till date, a total of 2.5 million tons of wheat and 2,000 tons of pulses have been transshipped from India to Afghanistan through Chabahar port. So in 2021, India supplied 40,000 liters of the environment-friendly pesticide malathion through the port to Iran to fight the locust attacks. In August 2023, Prime Minister Modi met with President Ibrahim Raisi in Johannesburg on the sidelines of the BRICS summit and discussed the pending long-term contract on Chabahar. The two leaders gave a clear political direction to finalize and sign a long-term contract. So the Chabahar and INSTC, with the operationalization of the long-term investment, Chabahar could potentially become an important hub to connect India and the landlocked countries of the Central Asia and Afghanistan. However, to better realize its commercial and strategic potential, the development of the port must be integrated with the larger connectivity project of the International North-South Transport Corridor, that is INSTC, which connects St. Petersburg with India's Mumbai port through the Central Asia and Iran. The INSTC, which was initiated by Russia, India, and Iran, is a multimodal transportation route envisaged to link the Indian Ocean and Persian Gulf to the Caspian Sea via Iran and onward to northern Europe via St. Petersburg in Russia. The INSTC envisages the movement of goods from Mumbai to Bandar Abbas in Iran by sea, from Bandar Abbas to Bandar-e Anzali, an Iranian port in the Caspian Sea, Bandar-e Anzali, an Iranian port in the Caspian Sea by road, and the Bandar-e Anzali to Astrakhan, a Caspian port in the Russian Federation by ship across the Caspian Sea and onward to other parts of the Russian Federation and Europe by rail. So the Funchuk Stopdan, a senior fellow at the Institute of Defense Studies and Analysis and a former Indian ambassador to Kyrgyzstan, wrote in an IDSA issue brief in June 2017 that INSTC and Chabahar port will complement each other for optimizing Indian connectivity with Russia and Eurasia. However, the war in Ukraine and destruction of Europe's relationship with Russia has since complicated the future of this project. So this was about the project. One important thing that I noted that I was not knowing earlier. This is about the Bandar-e Anzali, port of Iran. It is in Caspian Sea. Bandar-e Anzali port. Okay, so coming on to the another important article that is related to the xenotransplantation. So transplantation of the living cell tissues or organs from one species to another. So let us see. The first person to receive a pig kidney has died 2 months after his surgery. His family and doctors from the Massachusetts General Hospital, where the procedure took place, did not link his death to the transplant. So, what is xenotransplantation? So, xeno in the Latin term for foreign, xenotransplantation thus it is the transplantation of living cells, tissues, or organs from one species to another. In context of humans, xenotransplantation is any procedure that involves the transplantation, implantation, or infusion into a human recipient of either a live cell tissue or a or organ from a non-human animal source, or B. Human body fluids, cells, tissues, or organs that have had ex vivo contact with live non-human animal cells, tissues, or organs. So, according to the US Food and Drug Administration, this includes transplantation of animal organs like a pig kidney or use of a pig liver for temporary perfusion during the acute liver failure. So, how does it work? In practice, the actual surgery may not be very different from a regular organ transplant, but the animal organ selected has to undergo genetic modifications so that the human body does not reject it. A report from the Harvard Medical School, whose physicians were involved in the Salmon operation, said 69 genomic edits were made into the pig kidney in his case. Gene editing technology CRISPR-Cas9 was employed to remove certain pig genes that produces sugar from antibodies our immune system reacts to and add certain human genes to improve the kidneys compatibility with the humans. So why are pigs used for this procedure? Pig heart valves have been used to replace damaged human heart valves for over 50 years now. Okay, this is because pigs' anatomic and physiological parameters are similar to that of humans, so they can be easily and in cost-effective manner bred in farms. A vast variety in pig breeds, which come in different sizes, also means that harvested organs can be matched with the specific needs of the human recipient. The first xenotransplantation, a genetically modified pig heart, was carried out in 2022, but the patient died within 2 months. So, what were the complications? The biggest challenge with a xenotransplant, like a regular transplant, is to ensure that the human body does not reject the transplanted organ. Like in a regular transplant, the patient is put on immunosuppressants, which leaves them vulnerable to other diseases and complications. Transplanted organs themselves may carry reorganized and recognized and unrecognized infectious agents, according to the FDA. This can then lead to the subsequent transmission of diseases among humans, with certain latent retroviruses potentially causing diseases after years after infection. So, what is the need for this procedure? There is a significant gap between the number of transplantation needed by the patients and the availability of donor organs. A 2024 article in the Nature noted in the United States alone, there are nearly 90,000 people waiting for a kidney transplant, and more than 3,000 people die every year while still waiting. So, there is also evidence suggesting that animal cells and tissues may be used to treat certain neurodegenerative disorders and diabetes. So, this was about the xenotransplantation article. And there is another important article about the rocky exoplanet, which is found by the James Webb Telescope. So it is named as 55 Cancri E. So yeah, so that's all from today's newspaper. We'll meet tomorrow with some other important articles. So till then,